in case y'all are still talking about Jussie Smollett, because it seems like it's died down, in the future, you know, because I always look at these types of situations as, you know, teaching moments for just our lives. We always have to look at trends. Trends continue. When you see a trend shift is when you have to cite that that's the problem. For instance, you know that your significant other, something's going on when they're consistent and then something shifts. The trend has diverted. You know that your child might be going through something when they're consistent and then it diverts. You know that your body, you might be getting sick or you might need to go to the doctor when your body's operating a certain way and then it diverts from the trend. So anytime you see a diversion from the trend, that's when you have the red flag to say, okay, here's the point of interest that we start at to figure out what's going on. Now, for instance, in the Jussie Smollett situation, we still don't know the truth of the matter, but we have to acknowledge something very, very basic. If you look at Jussie Smollett and the Chicago PD and trends, Jussie is on trend. Jussie has never exhibited any behaviors of like drastic ridiculousness or, you know, doing fame whore activities. He's never done anything or said anything that put him in the spotlight in a egregiously sideways way. Jussie likes to smoke his weed. So being at a Subway at 2 a.m. with the munchies, that's on trend. Jussie is not a A-list celebrity that can't be seen out in public, even though some of y'all are like, why would they be out that night by themselves? Like, I go out by myself all the time. So, you know, that's a normal thing. That's on trend. Chicago PD. When have they ever been transparent? When have they ever been known to be efficient in solving cases? When have they ever been on point? I mean, they literally just had to sign a consent decree to the reformation of their department because it is so gosh darn corrupt. But all of a sudden, they are putting their resources immediately to a case and they're being transparent with the people and they're actively like pursuing an investigation and solving it quickly. Not on trend. That's a divert from the trend. You have to acknowledge that. So in trying to figure out or just trying to understand like what's going on with this continued mystery, that's a good source point to saying, let's investigate this. Always look at the divergent trend. Which is why throughout this whole thing, I've been so hesitant to like just, you know, vilify Jussie, because the other diversion from the trend has been us, Black folks. When have we ever trusted the police and what the police say? Why are we so quick to just believe what the police are telling us without any fact checking, only to find out that they were lying about the check being written for the purpose of Jussie being jumped, only to find out that the young men who were supposedly hired never said that they were hired to jump Jussie. So what is it about this particular story that made an entire community of people who, amongst having many disparate views, have pretty much all come together on one fact, which is the police? Why all of a sudden in this case were we like, oh, no, we believe the police this time? Just throwing things in the mix to think about.
In other words, what Amanda Seales is implying is that black people are homophobic. At least that's what I got from her video. She's one of these crazy black people who are in that crowd, that group that are on this pseudo-liberal I don't even know how to describe it, but they think that black people are homophobic, particularly heterosexual black men. They blame straight black men for everything. She initially blamed straight black men for the Jussie Smollett situation. You know, she was like, well, what about R. Kelly? You know, like stuff that had nothing at all whatsoever to do with Jussie and whether or not he concocted a hoax. You know, and the fact that she's implying black people, particularly straight black men, are homophobic takes away from the stuff that she said that was actually right and exact, which were the same things that I noticed, which were that there was this fake news that came out claiming that the Nigerian brothers allegedly were paid for the attack on Jussie, and then it came out that that was actually not true, that was fake news. So somebody allegedly from the police department was allegedly an insider to, I think it was CNN, and then come to find out that that information was not true. And something that really stuck out to me in this story was a lot of these conservative nut jobs were saying things like, well, we know that the Jussie Smollett thing was a hoax. We know that it had to be, because who goes out in weather like that when it's really, really cold and they're going to go get a sandwich or whatever from Subway? Maybe he went to go get 12 inches, but it wasn't a sandwich, or 6 inches, but it wasn't a sandwich. You dig? But here's the thing. If Jussie said that he went at 2 a.m. in the morning to go get himself some food from Subway during a quote unquote polar vortex or whatever, during this really, really dangerous weather, why was Subway open at that time if, quote, no one's out there, no one would do that? Why would they be open at all? Did anybody verify that they were in fact open? If they were in fact open at 2 a.m. during a storm like that, or whatever you call that particular weather occurrence, they must have been anticipating customers, or they knew that there was the possibility that someone would come in and get some food. Remember, you know, when you run a business, we're talking about labor and utilities and whatnot. They have ovens at Subway. You know, they make their bread there, quote unquote, fresh. They have to pay for labor, the employees that work there. You know, if they have food prepared, they have to throw it out at a certain time. So we're talking about food costs and whatnot. So you're telling me that basically the business was spending money to be open and have all of these different costs associated with having the business open, but they weren't looking to make any sort of return on that investment. Is that what you're telling me? There were some other things that I noticed too, but I forget right now, and I'm just drained. But I'm tired of Amanda Seales with her sneaky jabs at black Americans. And, you know, understand, like, her mom is like Grenadian or whatever, so she's an island girl. And this is exactly why you have people like, look, man, we are ADOS, American descendants of slaves and whatnot, because it's like, I mean, come on now, you got this island girl running around. It's like we all know what she's implying. She's implying, you know, those black people sure are homophobic. That's the one thing about this Jussie Smollett case. That's why they're willing to agree with the police, because it's a gay guy. But she's saying it in a sneaky sort of way, like tapping her head, like, just think about it. Think about it. What is it about this particular case? What it is about the particular case, Amanda, is that there is a lot of potentially fishy stuff, Amanda. I mean, a lot of it doesn't make any sense. For example, there's cameras basically everywhere, and they were basically saying, like, you know, those were the only two people that were seen on camera. That's one of the quote unquote smoking guns or red flags that's causing people to think, you know what? I think that this guy's lying, because where's the video footage of the people who allegedly committed the act? Did they appear in a puff of smoke like something straight out of a J.K. Rowling book? That's the lady who wrote Harry Potter. But here's the thing, man. The simple fact that there's allegedly no video footage of anybody else out there that night around that time in that area, except for the two Nigerian guys. And then the fact that Jussie said, allegedly said, I'm sure that those are the two guys. And then come to find out those two guys are people that he knows. And he just gave them a nice little chunk of change in the time period right before this happened. And there's a lot of stuff that makes it appear as if Jussie may have made this up. You know, Lee Daniels' cousin, if I'm not mistaken, was attacked not that long before this. Also, there was that letter that was quote unquote sent to Empire threatening Jussie. And it's like, well, where the hell did that letter come from? Did he drop the letter off in front of Empire, in front of the studios? You know what I mean? Like one day, and planted the letter. You know, some people were saying, including, I think the police said this too, I'm pretty sure, that Jussie had basically planted the letter himself. I don't know whether or not he allegedly wrote it, made it, or whatever, but that he allegedly dropped the letter off himself, like planted it, and then when it did not get enough attention, that's when he allegedly planned this hoax. I don't know whether or not Jussie's telling the truth either. All I know is this: Amanda, you're canceled. And the reason why you're canceled, I've been a fan of Amanda Seales since forever. Oh, if you would have asked me a couple of weeks ago if whether or not, like, me and her, we was going to get married and have 11 little beautiful brown babies, I would have been like, duh, fool. It was Amanda Seales. You know, she was going to be my baby mama, my wife, my future, my everything. And I'm just done with the heifer. You know, she's planting black Americans as homophobic, which then puts black Americans, specifically heterosexual black men, in danger. Their lives in danger, their reputations in danger. Do you think that she cares? Of course not. This is a political game to her. This is politics. I told y'all, man, politics are war. Whether you realize it or not, Amanda Seales is playing war games when she says stuff like this. She thinks that she's slick the way that she's saying it, but I mean, I analyze people like her. Lee Daniels, and I'll make a separate video about this. When the Jussie Smollett alleged attack happened, Steve Harvey spoke out about it. Lee Daniels reposted the video. As a matter of fact, I'll be right back. I'm going to read it verbatim so I don't mess this up. This is what Lee Daniels said about Steve Harvey speaking up about the alleged Jussie Smollett attack. There has been a defending silence from my straight brothers that have a platform. Thank you, Steve Harvey. Black fist emoji, rainbow emoji, black fist emoji, hashtag speaking. Once again, there has been a defending silence from my straight brothers that have a platform. So this was being shared, like, not just Lee Daniels' words, but he ended up deleting that. After it came out that what Jussie did was allegedly a hoax, he ended up deleting it, of course, to save face. And because he's full of shit. But here's the thing, though. Why would you bring up straight black men? And do you see how Amanda Seales also brought up straight black men? And they weren't their articles, tweets, etc. These people are all on the same page. I told you, man, it's politics, and politics are war. But anyways, like I said, man, Amanda Seales is canceled. I no longer mess with this chick. I mean, I'm still going to go to her Instagram page, Rapid Hand Movement. And I'm going to admire her from afar because she is a dime. And I am team pretty girl. I don't wish anything bad on her. But dang it, she's full of crap. Anyways, let me know what y'all think about it all below. Me Magazine on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and MeWe. Me Magazine blog on Instagram. Thumbs up, comment, subscribe, notify. Let me know what you think about this foolishness. Share this video on social media. Twitter, Facebook, Google+, toucans with the string in the middle telepathically. That way everybody and their mama too knows that your girl Amanda Seales is full of crap.